Hey everyone, ViolinguyGolf again and again and again. No, just I'm back. I'm going to be doing a little golf course design tutorial today. This is going to be tutorial number 4, I think. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today, before let me go ahead and say what we're working on today. Today we're going to work on basic elevation. So some basic sculpting, flattening out some areas, raising up some areas, flattening, getting the green complex to be more or less flat, definitely getting the tees to be flat. We're going to do that. We are going to also, I'm going to show you some more settings. I mean, you could go in here, you could change so much on your golf course. You can change everything. I think we may have done a little bit with green speed and fairway firmness and green firmness last time. We'll revisit those here in a second. So today is going to be some basic elevation and some even more settings, customizing your golf course even further. So before we do that though, I want to fix some of this fairway. Okay, I like wavy fairways, the quote-unquote Jack Nicklaus fairways, and you can do that very easily by using shapes. I want to say shapes, brushes. Okay, that's the Tiger Woods designer and me coming out. So, but what we're going to do is we got to straighten some of this stuff. It's too wavy and it looks too artificial. So we're going to create surfaces fairway. We're going to use this rectangle, triangle. My goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to use this guy. You could use the square too, and the trick is though the corners of it cannot be out here. Okay, because let me show you what that looks like. It looks terrible. Okay, if I go ahead and put that there, you get that, and that looks bad. So you're going to go ahead and hit undo on Xbox. It's the X button. On PlayStation, that is the, if I'm not mistaken, square button. Alright, so let's place it here. Again, we want to cut this off, just kind of straighten it out. It can still have a little curve to it. There we go. See, that's so much better. Alright, I mean, fairways should have a little curve to them like that. I dig that. So remember what we do. We go ahead and we put that down, okay, and then we back out of here till we get back to here. Then we choose rough. Same shape, make it bigger. Ta-da! We're going to have... boom, light rough. All right, so I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to do one more. But I just wanted to show you, in case you didn't already. Oh, yeah, see, sometimes I hit A too many times. Things going a little slowly today, actually. I don't know if this is the first design work I've done all day. I did a golf course review video here on a sort of not great golf course. All of these are, see that looks much better. Rough, thing, bigger, and ba-boom. Okay, now sometimes these shapes like the square and some of the circle ones, they're a little fuzzy on the outside, so it's not easy all the time. Excuse me one second. It's not easy all the time to get, uniform length on the fairway. This area over here looks bad. You know what? It looks so bad, we're going to put a bunker. Okay, and we're not even going to change the shape of this bunker. I'm a big proponent of making sure that we always change the shape of the bunkers. What the what? Ooh, look at that. I got paid for something. Nifty. Anyway, I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job. I play the violin for a living. But I also write music and I also teach. So every now and then I get a royalty payment for music that I have written. And I just did today, so that is awesome. Okay, let's get back to what we're doing here. So let's get into some basic elevation here. All right. We're going to start, let's start at the beginning. Always a great place to start. Okay, these tee boxes look terrible. Okay, now I am going to put some light rough around those, but I'm not going to do that right now. For right now, let's make them flat. Okay, so sculpt land, landscape flatten. For sake of expediency here, we're going to keep them square. So I'm going to use the square brush. Make it bigger. You got to make it bigger than your tee boxes because the tee box should be flat from edge to edge. No edges rolling off into the abyss. Okay. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So now we have a flat tee box. Okay, there's no giant ridge in front of it. Sometimes when you flatten without raising, you get, see, we got a little one here. See, there's like a little ridge ahead of the tee box. That's not terrible. It's not something that you would see in regular golf. Let's fix that. So undo. The easiest way to fix that is, that's what it's called, flatten. We're going to use that same brush. Let's center it a little bit better this time. All right, and then before you hit A to flatten, we're going to raise it. So we use the right bumper, raise it up. No more than 3 feet, I would say, because then that starts to look a little bit artificial. There will be times that you will have to do that. Okay, now you see how it jutted up there at the last minute? That's because the brush stays, flattened brushes stay at the whatever elevation you just used. Okay, so that when you're done, it then bumps it up a little more because the brush is over the thing. So if I do that, see, we're back to normal, okay? So let's flatten these other ones. These other ones, that the ladies' tee up there. Oh, excuse me, the forward tee. We are in 2017, after all. SK flatten. Same thing. We're going to use the, we're going to use the same brush. Get it centered over our tee box, and kaboom. We flatten. See? Looks nice. Make sure that the tees that are more forward, as you go, the tees should not be higher than the ones behind. Okay, when you're playing from the tips, that tee should be. I'm gonna bump this up. That tee should really be the highest one. Okay. Exception. Every rule's got exceptions. Wow, this thing's going really slow today. Every rule has exceptions. Look at how the forward tee there is way up in the air. And that's fine because it's not right in front of the back tee here, or championship tees. All right, so there's some basic elevation. You got to flatten tees. Okay, the other thing that should be flat is your green. What? Green flat? Well, you're going to do some of the actual detailed flattening work later, okay? But I like to flatten the whole green complex, not including the bunkers, because those are not going to be flat. I like to flatten the whole green complex. A green complex is, defined as the green and what is surrounding the green, like bunkers, runoff areas, things like that, collection areas as they are known. So let's sculpt landscape flatten. Now we want to pick a brush that doesn't have a hard edge. This is not a super hard edge, but I want to use this one here, because I want the middle of it to be flat, but the outer areas to be, not so harsh. So let's get that over this whole area. Now this is all fixable later. If you really want to be cute, you can raise this up a little. That's a little too much. Okay, greens by rote are raised up a little, by definition, usually greens are raised up a little bit. So okay, so that doesn't look so bad. And then in doing that, the fuzzy edges of the brushes are going to give a more gradual, sides, and then the bunkers kind of ride up those sides, and it looks like a real golf hole. So nifty. Okay, so now you've kind of flattened the green complex. You could play this hole now. All right. The other thing we got to do before we do anything else is we got to flatten these edges of the fairway. It looks terrible. Okay, so because the fairway kind of auto flattens when you put it down. You can actually avoid that. You can avoid it by doing a little terrain work on the area first, flattening some areas first, and then putting the fairway down, and it will give you a minimum of auto flattening. Okay, so we're going to use the completely fuzzy round brush here. This is actually the ellipse or oval, and just go over the sides of our fairway. All right, because we got to get rid of those jagged edges where the auto flattening happened, and it gives you some creases You know, here's another one. Man, this thing is running so slow today. You know, and I'm on Xbox, so on Xbox there is no computer running slow today thing. What there is maybe my internet connection is not ideal. It's 10:15 in the morning here in Atlanta, so I don't know what the story is, but you know, that's going to wreak havoc when I want to do some designing on my own course here in a minute. So we're just kind of going down the thing and blah blah blah. Look at this area down here at the bottom of the screen, just looks awful. All right, we got to fix that, because that is, you know, somebody reviews or plays your golf course, they're going to see this and be like, yeah, that's a big old giant mistake. Okay, there are things that, and this is what these videos is for, there is to make sure you don't make mistakes that novice designers make. Okay, this is to differentiate your golf course. These videos are to try to differentiate your golf course that you design from guys who just slap on whatever fairway they feel like it, don't do any elevation work. You know, they don't contour the greens, they don't sculpt the bunkers, all that. Okay, those golf courses are junk and trash. And you know, this is the 4th tutorial video that I've done. Okay, each video being, let's say, 20 to 25 minutes. You can also, by the way, rotate that brush using the pad here. So make sure to do that. So this is the 4th one I've made. Let's say they're, you know, at 25-ish minutes, 20, 25-ish minutes apiece. I want to try to make this one a little less lengthy. I tend to get a little long-winded and talk, and you know, like I'll get talking about the Cubs, who I love. You know, I'm a 47-year-old man who's been rooting for the Cubs for, you know, 42 of those years. So, okay, so here we go. So now we've gone around our fairway, you know, but if you think about it, so what is that? It's like 4 videos now. Each one's going to be, let's say, 20 minutes. So that's 80 minutes. Okay, that's not quite an hour and a half of work. And here we have a golf hole better than, you know, most golf holes from brand new designers who just throw, you know, again, do minimum amount of work and throw on whatever, you know, TGC2 gives them. All right, so that's some basic elevation work. Okay, before you do any of the detail stuff, which we're going to do maybe next time, maybe the time after that, I don't know. All right, so the next thing and second thing and last thing, I know you're all happy about the last part, but what we're going to look at today is some more settings. Okay, we've been into settings a million times. Okay, let me just take a look. Let me get out of this first. Before we do anything else, save, 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 save. Always save, save all the time. So here we go. We got settings. So did we do green settings? I forget. Let's go. The easiest way to do this is to go to course settings. Green settings, green speed. Oh, that's right. We did fix the green speed, but it wasn't fast enough. So let's bump that up to 7. That's fine. Green firmness, we're going to leave it at normal. I think it was at 50 to start. So 7 on the greens, I think, gives you 155-foot greens. That number is the number that actually, excuse me, I had a ear itch there. That number actually is the number that dictates how fast they are. So 155 is a good normal speed. You know, anything lower than 150 is slow. Okay, 187 is the fastest. I highly recommend not using that unless you're really good at creating greens and doing that stuff. So excuse me one second. Okay, so I shoot for 160, anywhere between 160 and 170 is my default for greens. I think greens roll nice and true at the faster speeds, but go too fast and you risk being unfair. Okay, course settings. So I think we did pretty much all of this. I think we did fairway settings. Fairway firmness is important. Let's bump that up just a tad. Okay, so here's some of the things you can fix on tee box settings. All right, I want to kind of zoom in here and show the tee markers, because that's one of the things we're going to fix. Okay. Rough settings, my foot. Okay. So tee box settings. Tee box settings, you got tee box size medium. Now, here I'm going to get into kind of a more advanced tip here. But what I like to do now that I know that you can do this, I didn't know that when I really published my first course, but something you can do if you want to make your own tee box. If you want to make your own tee boxes, you want to make them whatever shape you want to make them, and not just rely on having all 4 uniform shaped tee boxes, which I thought was a fault of the game at first, and then I realized you could change it. Set your tee box size way down. I set mine to about 3. Okay, oops, now it gave me some trees because now they're not in the way. Okay, let's leave that way. We're not going to change shape. Okay, this is the pro tip thing. This is kind of an advanced deal, but then we go back to create surfaces. Oh no, there's no tee surface. Well, yes, there is. You use green. You want to use brush. Let's say for our back tee, we're going to use this. Make sure it is big enough. Okay, to keep your tee markers. Yeah, that's a good size. Ba-boom! Now you're going to have a beautiful looking tee. Now, there we go. Tee box. Okay, so you can make your tee boxes any shape you like. You want to make this one a different shape? Let's go ahead and make that a different shape. You want to be crazy and make the tee box, look like that? Knock yourself out. I wouldn't do that because no tee box in the world is going to be this shape. All right, but we're going to leave that one there just for sake of having fun. All right, we're going to make the other ones ovals. Stupid tree is in my way, but I can kind of see through there. This should move the tree out of the way. Thank you. All right, and we're going to make an oval up here. We are going to make an oval up here. Boom. Okay, so that's kind of a more advanced tip, how to make tee boxes have different shapes than the 4. I mean, because if you just leave them the way they are and choose a shape in the menu, you're going to have 4 shapes exactly the same. Now, that's not necessarily so bad. A lot of golf courses have every single tee being the same. I think of, TPC Scottsdale, a golf course that was just published, by the way. The designer's name escapes me, but it looks really good. I haven't played it yet, but looks really, really good. Okay, so we've made tee boxes. Let's go back to our tee settings. Let me get this thing down here on this shape. All right, so let's go back to our tee box settings. We already changed the tee box size. Shape, you can make all 4 of them the same shape if you do this. We're not doing that because we already changed the shape. Texture we'll get to later. Tee markers. This is a cool thing. You get your choice of tee markers. Okay, these stone ones are really cool. Okay, these are the default ones. That means, that looks like that. You can have the color and the whole number. That's a really cool thing. Some of these, like this one, okay, is nice looking. But the tee boxes aren't going to change color depending on what tee you're using. Same with like this. I think I'm using these ones, or maybe the diamond ones. I think I'm using these guys on my golf course that I'm working on now. I love making these decisions. And this is kind of a cool thing about this game is you get to make these cool decisions about your golf course and about what it's going to look like. Okay, so it's kind of like writing music. Okay, there's decisions you have to make. What chord goes next? If you're writing a song, what words go with the music, what words come next, what notes, what melody are you going to use, what instruments are you going to use, and so on down the line. Those are decisions you have to make. On your golf course, you have to make decisions. What theme you're going to use, okay, what kind of trees, what kind of textures. We're going to talk about textures here in 1 second. So we're going to change these tee markers to this one. It's got the cool wood look, but it also has the circle stripe around it that is going to give you, what are these? Blue tees, I believe. Yep. And then white, and then green, and the red. So, okay, cool. Tee markers, yay! And then if you want to change the color of your tees, okay, I like to use gold as my championship tees. Sometimes I use black. That's common on golf courses that have several tee positions, and I can't tell you enough to use several tee positions. Please do that. So, don't just have 1 or 2. I mean, if you have 2, that's fine. Spread them out, though. But I would have 4 if I were you. At least 3. I do 4. If you want to do 5, the game will let you do 5. Okay, if you want to change your tee colors, let's say you don't want to use green. Let's say you're going to use gold. A lot of golf courses use gold for the quote-unquote senior tees. So we're going to change those ones to gold, and boom, that's it. Okay, so now you hit back, go back, and now you've got red, gold, white, and blue. And then let's make the blue. Let's zoom in so you can see it. Okay, we're going to make the blue tees black. Okay, because most golf courses use either blue or black as the rear tee box. So cool. So there we go. All right, one last thing we're going to do is we need to choose textures. All right, and when I like to have the hole already here before I choose textures, and I like to be kind of zoomed in on an area that is going to give me a look at all of the textures. All right, so instead of going here to texture, what we're going to do is go back to course settings. I'm going to start with rough. Okay, and we're going to talk about rough width another time. Rough texture. So we're using number 9 textures here, and I like number 9 textures. They're good. It looks realistic. Okay, I've used 12 sometimes. 8 is not a bad. Let's try 8 for today. So we're going to do the rough first. What does 8 look like for rough? Oh, this is the one that has the light rough. Okay, so let's go back. So that's the, I'm going to change the heavy rough. Now notice when you change the heavy rough, it's going to change the existing heavy rough all around the golf course. And to see the whole, everything changes so that it blends better that way. That's a cool feature of this game. So we did that. Now we hit back a couple of times, get to fairway settings, texture, 8. Now this is going to deepen the green a little bit. There we go. And then we go back a couple of times. Come on. We don't have to change tee box settings because we're going to change green, and it's going to change tee box by default. Green settings, 8. And ta-da. So now we've got a little bit more lush green look. Don't like that? Let's change it. Rough. I like to start with the rough. So we're going to start heavy rough this time. Let's be a little nuts. And let's go 12. This is going to give you, again, a more faded. See, that looks good, especially for a fall golf course. That looks really, really good. I'm using this. I believe I'm using 12 on my new course that I'm working on, which is a tropical. So this has a very Bermuda roughy look, kind of almost like a fall Bermuda rough look, when the rough starts to go dormant. So 12 for the light rough. See, that looks good. It's kind of like patches of dry. I like it. All right, fairway. Now this fairway is going to look really different. Oops. 12. It's going to be a little more brown, a little more faded. Yep, looking good. And green. 12 green. Boom. So again, I don't know why this is going so slowly today. Maybe it's Friday and everyone's using it. Oh, whatever. But so anyway, that's basics of elevation. That's basics of settings. Well, not even basics. Now we're really into the settings. So there are other things you can change in the course settings, like with texture. You can change a lot of this stuff. We'll go in even more. I could do a whole tutorial of it would be an hour long of settings and how to do them. So and then let's play test it. See how it goes. So we're going to play from the gold, or we made black. Sorry. We only have one pin, so we're going to play that. We're going to play hole, and we're going to see how it looks. We should always do that. Okay, that's a nice thing that you can go in here and play test the thing as it's going to appear in the game. There's my butterfly tee box that we put down there. Let's not do the whole flyby because it takes 6 years. So here we are. Nice dog leg. Good looking hole, I mean, obviously we need to sculpt some stuff, but the fairway's got a little slope to it. That's good. All right, let's let her rip. There, oh, fast. So now we're going to get a look at what the rough looks like. There's we put some grass in here, and I think that's a good idea. On a golf course that's wooded like this, it's nice to have, oh, goodness gracious. Let's see if we just loft this over the stuff here. No, bad. Go. Oh, it's got to hit something, don't it? There it goes into one of our flat bunkers. I like having some existing foliage on a golf course because, oh, God bless America, because it it's less work you have to do later than to plant a whole golf course. There are some designers, go in the hole. Ah, there are some designers that like to start with nothing, and here's our second hole that we kind of did. We're going to look at that at another time when we're doing water. So, yeah, there are designers out there that like to start with a completely blank canvas, no hills, no trees, no nothing, no water. I'm of a mind that I like to design on land that God and the owner of the land has given me. So, I like to have, on this course, I think we turned the hills kind of down a little bit, but, there's always going to be some elevation there. Okay, there's a couple of lakes around, that's good. And then I put trees because it's a wooded golf course. So trees are good, and you're going to have some of these objects. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I really need you all to comment and let me know if these videos are the least bit helpful. I need you to comment, tell me what you guys need to see, what you guys have problems with. I'm going to be working on my own golf course here. So, let me know what's problematic for you with the designer, and I will try to help you guys with it. Again, best of luck to all of you. Hope you have a great weekend. It's Friday. This video won't be on Sunday or Monday, but, hope you have a terrific weekend. Hope you have a great week. Hope you all are healthy. And I got to get some design work on my own done here. So, have a great day. Violin Guy.